I want to welcome everybody to our latest Meet Our Plymouth County Community Difference Makers. My name's Tim Cruz. I'm the Plymouth County District Attorney. I have been for the last 20 years, and I live in Marshfield. And that's why today with me, I'm glad to have Stephen Halko-Sheehan and Robert Gelman, who organized the very delicious and very popular Marshfield Rib Cook-Off, which is coming this September 10th. And our office sponsors, as well as the numerous other sponsors, I'm going to welcome them to the show. So welcome both of you guys, and
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you coming today. And maybe we can talk a little bit about, when this started and how it's grown as big as it is.
This started, it was out of a mission trip that we're down in Mississippi and trying to think of a way to raise money for adult mission for the North Community Church. So I came up with the idea of a rib cook-off, which everyone kind of laughed about. And 6 months later, we held our first rib cook-off in the parking lot of Marshfield, Marshfield Community, North Community Church. Wow, I get that all messed up. In the parking lot of North Community Church. It then morphed from there to the VFW on Route 3A in Marshfield because we needed more room. In 2019, we realized that we needed a bigger boat again, and we moved to the Marshfield Fairgrounds. And last year was our first full year at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, so this is our second full year, and we're working to make it a bigger and better event than it was last year.
Well, I remember driving down 3A in the past, when you were still there, and the traffic was incredible because the people that want to get in there. So I'm glad that we're at the fairgrounds.
Should have seen it last year.
Yeah. Oh, he was
traffic.
I was here last year.
Yeah, we had traffic out to the highway.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Well, the fairgrounds is very big.
Yeah.
Yes. And last year you had a lot of different groups that were there cooking. So, and Rob, how did you become involved in all this?
I met Stephen through North Community Church, and soon after meeting Stephen, of course, he sucks you into these kinds of things. This is only one of many things that we do together, but his enthusiasm for the community, and it's very infectious how he goes about this. And one of the things I say to him all the time is he gets stuff done. We do stuff. We don't talk about it. We
Right.
get out there and we do it.
Well, we obviously need to have people like that, people, the doers that get the things done. Especially things like this, especially I think when times are, so challenging now more than ever. It's probably needed
And probably
more than
becoming
ever.
more challenging.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the really exciting things for me is there's a whole community of people who are doing these kinds of things, and it's just terrific to meet them and collaborate. It's amazing how many people are making a difference.
No, I think you're right, and I think, because it's very easy to go on television and you see these terrible things going on and people not having civil conversations,
Right.
Which is really incredibly important. And things like this, as we work around the county and go to different groups that are raising monies for their respective portions of their community, it makes such a big deal because you're dealing with, whether it be, food pantries or, churches, and people right now are in dire need of all sorts of resources. I mean, the economy is changing right now more than ever, and I think that without groups like yours, it'd be a lot tougher. So I appreciate what you do and the challenges that you face. And since it starts, how many years now has it been?
This will be the 14th year we've run it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a labor of love. It's a lot of fun. The organization has grown. We have a 4-member executive board. We have 10 full members on the entire board, and everyone comes from different thought patterns and different ways of thinking, and I think that's what helps us grow and helps us really challenge one another. No one in the group is afraid to call somebody out and okay, I don't really think I like that idea. Let's talk about it a little further. And to me, that's really what has helped get it to the point that it is because we're all willing to listen to one another. And talking about today's world where there's so much conflict and you can't have a civil conversation. That's one of the things we live by is the fact that we will respect one another in our conversations and how we build this. And if something comes up that we find is divisive, unless we're all for it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's important as an organization that we make sure that we're all on board, that we all agree. To me, it's always been raising money is easier when some people feel like they're getting something in return. And this is an event where you can come listen to some great live music. The Marshfield Police Department will be giving us a couple of tactical vehicles and some police cars. There'll be something there from the fire department. We'll have something from the DPW. So it's a family event, and it really has been. Somebody asked us about our demographic, and I would look at it and say we've never really polled it. But I would say our demographic is north of 30 and probably south of 100, but not by much. It's very much family oriented. Kids love it. Last year we gave away bubbles. We had plenty of games for kids to play, and parents really enjoyed the fact that we had the touch truck for the kids. It really is a family event, and we want to keep it that way.
And you support a lot of local organizations too with the monies that you receive. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, our mission is to raise fund and awareness for community initiatives that serve at risk youth as well as families with a focus on homelessness, food insecurity. And so the groups that we are focused on are serving that kind of community, if you will. And so this year, as in last, we McKinney-Vento, which is foster, it's McKinney-Vento Foster Care, and Marshfield Facts, and the Marshfield Food Pantry, the Adult and Youth Mission for NCC, and this year we added the Cliff Rogers Library. So we're trying to focus on the needs of families, and again at youth risk, at risk youth. Right. And so those are the kinds of organizations that we're drawn to. That's where we really want to put the money.
And that's why, lots of times people ask me, why is the DA's office involved in groups like this and working with people in the community? But we deal, every day with kids who are at risk, the
Right.
kids who need the help the most, the kids who are they're coming from fraction homes, they're coming from, no two-family parents in their homes, and they go to school every day, and some days they're hungry, and some days, you really can't get enough help to those kids to make sure they walk the straight and narrow and they become protected citizens.
And I don't think, I think as we say, we want to raise funds, we want to raise awareness, because I think a lot of us are totally unaware of the needs of youth, particularly in our communities, to think that in our Marshfield area there could be homeless children or children that are couch surfing or living in an unstable environment is just, it's an anathema to begin with, but it's also something that I don't think people are aware of.
And I think you're right.
No sense.
No, I think, and that's why it's really so great that you're doing it, because what we find out here is that homelessness, people that need food, child abuse, domestic violence. There's no zip code. It's
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
You may look like it's a very solid environment, but there's a lot of people out there that are hurting right now, and a lot of people that need help, and that's why for groups like yours to step up, and for doing it for so long, it makes a difference. I think every step forward is something that we can help some kids and make sure that they can go on a better path and get some help if they need it. And there's nothing sadder than kids who are going home hungry, or that they're coming to school hungry.
Exactly.
And that is just something we can't allow. So I'm really so glad that you guys put this together. Now how many teams do you have of competitors that come to this?
This year, at this point, we have 24. We're still looking for probably 3 to 6 more teams. If we get a field of 30, that would be awesome. And the majority of them are amateurs. They're backyard grill masters, and they show up and they compete for a trophy and bragging rights. And the trash talking starts at 6 a.m. Once they're set up and the smokers are going, it becomes, I would call it verbally abusive, but it gets pretty close. And it's all good fun. It's all, it's something they all enjoy. They all come. They know that, the guys that have won in the past show up with their trophies. So you'll see the teams that have competed in the past. They will bring their hardware from the event and they'll line them up. We have, in the 14 or 13 previous years, we've never had a repeat winner.
Really?
So there's a lot of trophies that have been spread around through the different teams, and the teams that haven't won, there is one team that shows up with their bowling trophies, just so they have trophies. I'm like, okay, that'll work, but it shows you how much fun they have and how much it means to them to be able to be a part of it.
And my understanding is there's also some police and fire groups that show up.
In the past, we've had the Cohasset Police Department has been part of it probably since we moved to the VFW, which was in 2009 or 10. And the name of their team is the Smoking Pigs, which if any team's going to have that name, it should be a police department. We have the Smoking Guns from Hanover, the Hanover Police Department. Yeah. And this year we corralled the Marshfield Fire Department to put a team in, so we'll have 3 of them. I know Chief Tavares, you're going to watch this. You guys need to get in. We've been chasing Chief Tavares for a number of years, and he keeps trying to get a team together. So hopefully Marshfield will get a police team in there. But that's an area we'd like to grow because, again, that's, all those, look at the MPDs and the police departments, and they're so ingrained in the community.
Right.
You talk to the guys from Cohasset, and during the times when things were really rough, they felt it was a really good way to be involved with the community, and everyone's guard was down. They could communicate when people saw them as human beings and people who actually have normal lives as opposed to just being police officers. So I think most of them really get a big kick out of it to be able to be a part of that and communicate with people on a very different level and for them to understand the jobs that they really do.
Well, I remember last year I saw Chief Sweeney from Hanover was there. So now that the Marshfield police are getting their brand new station, it's almost done. It'll be open by September. So I believe that Chief Tavares will have some time to fill, so I think he should get involved in that too. And next time I see him, I'll tell him that.
Good idea.
That he should definitely do that.
Yeah,
So
we'd love it.
who's cooks better, the police or the fire?
We'll find out. This is the first year that the Marshfield Fire Department's been in there, but actually both of the police department teams have won. Cohasset and Hanover both have finished in first place in years past, so they both have their trophies. And actually last year, the Hanover Police Department won the popular vote. We do have a popular vote so that the public can come in, cast their vote for the teams they like the best. They get a ticket, they put it in a container. We will count that. It'll take us a couple days because we're anticipating that there'll be close to 3,000 people at the event.
Wow.
So if they were all to cast a ballot, it'll take our group a little bit of time and maybe a few beers to count through all those and come up with a popular vote. But that is a way for the public to be able to have a shot in that, have some fun, and cast their vote for who they like.
Other than the popular vote, is there a way, how do you decide who actually wins the contest?
We have a judging panel. Last year, the judging panel was a panel of 9, and the teams went through 2 rounds. The first round was every team that was in it. Then we took the next, I think it was the next, out of the next group, it was the 3 highest from each table, and they cast their votes again. So with 2 rounds of voting, all blind, judges have no idea who they're judging, and then we tally up the scores and we make the announcement. The team that won last year was a team of Army veterans from Wakefield, never competed before in the past, borrowed a smoker from their friends, hauled it down to the fairgrounds, and then proceeded to trash talk me all day long about the event and how they were having fun. It was all good fun. When I got there to announce, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! It's them. But they came up and they're stoked. They're coming back this year. They're bringing their friends and they're really looking forward to it. So it just goes to show you don't have to be a professional to do this. And some of the teams say if you bring a pro in, gladly, we want to beat them. So that's kind of the event that it is. It's very hyper competitive at a very friendly level.
Well, I know it was a lot of fun last year just to go there and to try all the different ribs. I'm certainly not a cooker, but I'm more of an eater. And going there with a bunch of people that we did last year, we're certainly doing that again this year.
Excellent.
Yeah. So do you have anything else that you want to add right now regarding the event?
Well, we'd like to put people on our website, mcrco.org. A lot of good information there. You can donate, sponsor. That's definitely something.
Sponsor.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate the
Yeah.
visibility and exposure in general. And we get a lot of support from, again, a nice benefit from doing this kind of work. It's amazing how much support we do receive. It's a great community.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I know that I appreciate it, and I know that the other people in Marshfield and also our county appreciate it because, like we said, it's really about helping each other out, and that's what it comes down to. And if you can have fun while you're doing it, what better way to go? And I know that day is going to be a very hectic day for you guys. As it
It's a
always
fun
is.
hectic, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great environment, and hopefully we'll have the weather that we had.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
we've been very
Gosh.
fortunate.
It's unbelievable.
I refer to those days as organized chaos.
Yes,
Oh, yes,
yes.
oh, yes.
Those-
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody.
There were
pulling each
some
other.
moments, but not many.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it went pretty smooth.
We all keep our phones in our pocket to see who walked the most that day.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's sit down at the end of the day like, oh, what do you got? I got 8 miles. I got 15. Really? How'd you get 15 miles? So, it is a good community event, and the community of Marshfield has been overwhelming in their support of it, but it has grown beyond that.
Yeah.
To see a team from Wakefield, but we have teams from all over the South Shore now, so we're really proud of that. We want to continue to do that because obviously the more money we raise, the more money we can push out to those organizations, and that's really what this is about, is raising awareness but also raising money. And when you see the effect that it can have on a single individual or a single child, and you hear about that, it just makes you want to do more.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we really feel as an organization. The more we can raise, the more we can do.
Well, that's great, and like I said, I think that people giving back to the community is a big thing now more than ever. So, like Robert said, it is 2022 Marshfield Community Rib Cook-Off. It's September 10th, 2022, and it's mcro.org.
No,
Strike that.
mcrco.org.
mcrco. Sean, fix that. mcrco.org, and I'm reading it. And I got it. So.
Yeah. We live it, that's the only reason it rolls for us.
Yeah, exactly. But I thank you guys so much for coming here today.
Thank
to talk
you.
a little bit about this. We'll get this out as best as we can, and hopefully we have a great turnout and raise a lot of money for a really good effort.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you.